Hey everybody, and welcome back to 2 Cent Movie Talk. I'm Nika.
And I'm Greg. And here at 2 Cent Movie Talk, we give you the average moviegoer's experience at the theater as only you and I would appreciate. That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. As you know, of course, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you know we've been slacking. There has been movies that we've seen that we just didn't do reviews on. We are doing a review on Ant-Man and the Wasp. As you can tell from the title, this is obviously a big movie we're going to do a review. We know we have to get better at it, and you guys appreciate our reviews. So we are going to work harder at getting our reviews up as soon as we see a movie. Now, we went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Thursday night.
IMAX.
So it is, of course, Sunday. You will probably be seeing this video on Monday. So as you can tell, we've slacked off a little bit. So,
but as a benefit, as a bonus, because it's Sunday, we assume that everyone who wants to see it has seen it already.
And we could do a spoiler.
We could do a spoiler review.
Yes.
And I want to do a spoiler on this so bad.
Yes.
So, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that my theories going into this movie were almost spot on. Well, first of all, I'm back up. I felt like this movie could benefit from Infinity War preceding, and I was right. It's a self-contained movie, but it did kind of draw you in because you're like, kind of like
you were waiting to see was there going to be any connection, and they made you wait.
What happened?
All the way to the end to see, the climax.
The mid-credit scene is there are two, but the mid-credit scene is the most significant of the two. Yeah. The last one is just a laugh. I'm like, ha ha ha! Look, that's still going on.
Right.
Although it does kind of feather in a little bit of the Infinity War outcome. So,
so it makes us more anxious, obviously, now, because seeing that in scene, it makes you think, hey, all of this happened at the same time or around the same time. So, I thought it was very comical. The Ant-Man movies obviously are more comical to me than the other Marvel franchise movies. They seem to be a little bit more serious. But this one was totally funny. I mean, the cast obviously worked well together. The dynamic there was just amazing. So
you had
Paul Rudd,
Michelle, T.I. Tim Harris, Michael Pena,
Michael Douglas,
Michelle Pfeiffer, who else? You had
what's the little girl's name? I totally forgot.
Let it go. I can never pronounce her name. Let me look it up here.
He's gonna look it up. We always forget the other guy on their team. I can never remember.
Oh, Gillian.
We're so bad.
I had it, and
But while he's looking up, I'm just gonna give my little tidbit of it. At one point, I thought it was a little long, but just thinking about it overnight, and then he took one of the kids to see it the next day.
Very next day.
And just talking about it, I kind of feel like it kind of needed to be a little long, but it was
Ghost. Hannah Jo Kamen and Walter Goggins. I call him
Did we say Lawrence Fishburne?
I think I said Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
That's who she was. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I never heard it because it's hyphenated.
Yeah.
Hyphenated. That's the most.
So great cast. They all work. They all worked well together. I think the scenes were good. One thing I did say though, the villain was kind of predictable. It was. Once you found out what was going on, the rest of the movie felt kind of predictable to me in that aspect. It wasn't like the super villain like Thanos or anything, but it was not like she was trying to hurt anybody. She just wanted to not be what she was, more so. So it was kind of like everybody was trying to help her, but in her trying to get what she needed, she was going to kill anybody in her way. So that's kind of like if I get cut and I'm trying to get to the hospital and all these drivers are in my freaking way, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get to the hospital so I don't die. Basically. Pretty
much. And that's kind of what the story kind of you kind of give a good description of it. To me, my takeaway is that this was a story about how to save Hank Pym's wife.
Yeah.
The villain Ghost wasn't really a villain. She was basically an innocent bystander that was suffering from.
She was a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, she was dying.
Yeah.
Basically, what's happening to her in the movie is that she's phasing through different
realms.
Different.
But her cells were constantly like
torn apart and reconstructed.
Tearing apart, and so she was able to go through walls. She was able to go through people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I don't know. That part was pretty cool because it's like, oh wow, she could pretty much do anything she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But
you had to, now my thing was one thing I had to say that was negative about it was that I had to suspend a little bit of belief because she couldn't control it.
Yeah.
But when she wanted to, she could focus. And there's a small scene there where Lawrence Fishburne's character, who actually is helping her, he actually helped her as a child because the incident happened to her as a child. Kind of helps her along to kind of control it and give her some basis for reality, kind of bring her back to reality where she can grab certain things. But you have to spend a little bit of belief because she's always able to do it as she needs it. It's almost like she's able to phase and phase and then solidify, if that's the term, because she didn't ride a motorcycle.
I don't know. I think when she was more like angry, it seemed like she can control it a little bit more. As where she was just like normal, it just seemed like she was constantly in and out.
Yeah, that's true.
So because then they turned her into a shield, right?
Shield, yeah.
Turned her into a weapon.
Yeah.
So
a la Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Which is what Heidi did with a soldier. So it's kind of like but ultimately that and Harry Giga's character, I said it never get wrong. He's almost he's an arms dealer, and his role in this is basically Hank Pym and Hope are actually using him to retrieve devices to help them build a miniature quantum realm gate, and he figures out what she's doing and who she is, and then he wants his tech. He's he's a black market arms dealer.
Yeah, he was for self, so that's all he really cared about, is getting what he wanted.
He added some lighthearted comedy to it, but he never really felt like a threat. I mean,
he definitely wasn't a threat, and you knew he wasn't going to win. Like, he had nothing but himself.
And some heavies.
And a few heavies that we knew were going to get killed or knocked out. But
Hitchman number 5 through 9.
Right,
But to me, with the movie, and I know you can't let the first time you listen to it, you're kind of like, where the movie excels is that it didn't try to be a bridge between Infinity War and Captain Marvel, which is the next Marvel movie that's coming up. It didn't try to say, okay, we all know this happened. This has happened here. This is now the. It didn't tie it in.
Yeah.
It was a self-contained, small little story that you could watch if you had just seen the other Ant-Man movie, and nothing else really. I mean.
It is one of those movies that, even though you know it's part of the franchise, it's one of those movies where you feel it's connected but disconnected. Like, it's just a standalone movie. Like, the rest of them, you know, they have to connect in some sort of way. But this one is just like, it could have stood on its own. Yeah, the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene is what really tied it into the big event. And there was some references to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some references because Hank Pym, but he got in trouble. He was on house arrest because he went and helped with the Civil War fight. So then he lost his girlfriend, so to speak, or whatever they were after the first Ant-Man.
They were dating.
For a little while, but then he left.
And Mike Pena put it through his little dialogue.
Right, stole the costume.
Yes.
And went to fight with them. So he was under house arrest. So it was connected there. Of course, the mention of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then, you had the whole mention of the other movies kind of in there, but still, it was just like that mention. It wasn't like they needed them to make this movie.
It was a background story.
Yeah.
And no other characters showed up in this film.
Yeah, so it's like, Donna and Bruce birthed me, but they're not a part of my everyday life, but you mention them because that's my mom and dad, So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the movie kind of, it's kind of akin to like Home Depot is the larger Avengers initiative, and then this is a mom and pops. Sells all the good stuff, really cool, but it's not going to be that. Yeah. It's not going to be Home Depot. It's not going to be the big box store.
It's never going to be as big as that.
But you love going to the mom and pop store because they know your name. Yeah. They're familiar. Yeah. And that's what this movie really was. It was familiar and comfortable. Yeah. And it was funny. Now, I always say, with Ant-Man, the biggest piece that they need to always keep in there is Michael Pena's character.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he does his storyline. There's a very funny scene. Even though it's a spoiler, I'm not going to tell the scene, but he does this scene where they give him the truth serum, and he just goes on a tear.
Yeah.
And it's really hilarious. And even though you saw the scale, the risk, and the gravity of what they were trying to do, trying to save Hank Pym's wife, trying to save her and bring her back, and going into the quantum realm and not getting lost, you realize that's a serious error. It's a serious thing. It's really heavy consequences if they get lost in it.
Exactly.
The comedic portion of the movie kept you grounded and made it lighthearted at the same time.
Now, I want to say, before I saw this movie, I was thinking the whole time that the villain was actually going to turn out to be the wife. I don't know. I just felt that way, that, you know, maybe something happened to her while she was in the quantum realm and she came back as this, like, villain or whatever, because maybe she didn't remember anything. I thought they were going to kind of play it that way, but it was pretty cool how they did play it. So, you know, as always, I like to see how this is going to play out in the future and how, you know, that second scene is going to play out with the, you know, movies next year. So, yeah. And
that does lead us into the mid-credit scene. I'm not going to talk about the last post-credit scene because that's insignificant to me. The mid-credit scene really was, you know, when we sat in the theater and that mid-credit scene happened, people were in the theater like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
it's like
boom. And to set it up really quickly, they miniaturized their quantum realm machine. This is humongous. You see the trailers. You see Hank Pym has a giant office that he can shrink down, but he has a gigantic quantum realm
within that
machine.
office. Yeah.
So they shrunk it down and put it in the back of the van, and you know they're using the quantum energy to heal ghosts because ultimately they understand it. Hank Pym and Bill Foster, Lawrence Fishburne character, were friends at one point. They were colleagues, partners that fell apart. This kind of brought them back together. And they're ultimately trying to help Ghost heal completely because they got her okay. Michelle Pfeiffer's character came back. She got her okay for a while, used some of the energy, but they need to repair her.
Yeah.
So this big credit scene, they're going back in, and Ant-Man's going in
to retrieve some of the
energy,
the
quantum energy, and that kind of
he's there.
he's in the realm. He's in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
You know, Janet Van Dyne is up there. Hank Pym, Hope are up there. All three are up there in a parking lot. Communicate with him. They open the portal, they can pull him back out. And it's at that point where the snap effect basically wipes all three of them out.
And Ant-Man is stuck in the quantum realm, and we don't know if he's going to get out or not.
Yes.
So
there's a tie-in. That will set the theater off. Like, oh my God, whoa. And immediately around me, I started hearing people talking about videos and things that seem fan theories and things
that completely just
wiped it off the board.
You know, all your theories and hopes, you know, that
gone.
you all think that's going to happen. You might as well just go and start over again.
Yeah, because I think personally, this is me, my opinion. I could be wrong, but I was right about Wonder Woman.
You were.
I was right about Wonder Woman. So I'm gonna say this: I think that Marvel is playing a game toying with the fans. There's obvious information that Spider-Man 2 is starting to shoot. So we know he's coming back. And you know most of the characters are going to come back. But I think at this point now it's the how and when.
Yeah, but how is Spider-Man 2 going to play out?
We don't.
Before or after? See, that's the whole
thing. They say it is after.
Okay.
But they don't say to what degree or how. So I think Avengers 4 is going to bring everything home and wrap everything up, which is allegedly rumored to be a 2.5 hour movie, maybe longer. But I did play around 3 hours.
We're going to see it anyways, though.
Who did 3 hour movie? What's the 3 hour movie?
I mean, wasn't all the Pirates of the Caribbean 3 hour movies there?
They were close, but no, they weren't as long as I think Infinity War was just almost as long as something else. I gotta look at the number again.
But whatever.
But anyway, so I think they're playing around with us, and you got all these theories. As soon as they throw a little monkey wrench in the machine, you say, "Oh shoot! I guess that's not gonna happen now." Now we gotta figure out because
now we gotta figure out something else.
All the scientists are gone except for Bill Foster, but it didn't say if Bill Foster, Lawrence Fishburne's character, was actually snapped away.
Right.
Or a ghost, if she was snapped away. In theory, she could have been. Scott Lang, Ant-Man, was saved because he was in the room. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He was nowhere.
In there, like who the heck is gonna get him out?
Yeah. There were hints. Janet Van Dyne was saying, "Stay away from the quantum, the time vortex."
Right.
And somewhere else, he said, "Because you go there, we can't get you back."
Yeah. And then you watch out for those things because they will eat you.
Yeah, those big old CGI Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
see if you haven't seen the movie yet.
So yeah, so that's that. I like the idea of confusion and keeping it, and the idea of the misdirection and the confusion and the play around. Because these post-credit scenes are sometimes shot well after the movie is done, so you don't know if they're shot when the movie finished shooting. They've been sitting on it for months, or they shot like we're doing reshoots, doing quick shoot setup for them. So you don't know. But yeah, so it's interesting. But on this movie, I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm gonna give it
a B. I'll give it a B.
Yeah. It was, but my expectations for it were like, oh my god, it's gonna be Infinity War Part 2, or it's gonna be a Black Panther movie, or like
I just
Civil
went
War.
in expecting an Ant-Man movie. I didn't go in with any expectations or any real close connections to any of the other movies or to Infinity War. I know, people were hinting around that there would be bits and pieces of what was to come in this movie, but I still really wasn't excuse me, expecting that. I still expected this to be an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
And it was.
As it should be. You can't, the movie's almost a year away.
Yeah.
And there's still a Captain Marvel movie between now and then. And there's still thousands upon thousands of hours of speculative videos that have not been made yet. That are going to take this movie into consideration, and there are Easter eggs in this movie. And there are a lot. There are a lot of things. I do just in the few days since we've seen it, I've seen tons of things out there that are like, you could be right, but you could be totally wrong.
Personally, I think what's going to happen is that movie's going to come out and everybody's theories and thoughts is just going to be totally wrong or totally off of what they actually think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's cool to go out there and see what the fans think and how they feel, is going to end, or how it's all going to come together, or where they actually are, or what actually happened to him. Even within our house, we have our own theories as to what's going on.
Yeah.
I have mine, he has his, our little boy has his, so it's... it's fun to sit and just anticipate, that movie.
Yeah, the event of it, the event in and of itself is what should be appreciated.
Yeah.
I don't want to play around with so many different theories that I come across the right one.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it 7 months ahead of time and say, man, I knew it was going to happen. I got it. I get no reward for that. Matter of fact,
oh well.
Yeah.
Then you see the movie and it's like, well, I knew that was going to happen. I figured that would happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I definitely don't want that. At a certain point, I'll stop reading. At a certain point, for me, it's just like, I just don't need to hear anything else. I don't want to hear anything else. When it gets closer and closer, I get mad at him sometimes. It's like, I don't want to see any more trailers, So, that's just me, because I am one of those people that like to be surprised. I like that shock and awe kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah, so, like I said, I give this movie a B. I really enjoyed it. I saw it twice. I saw it 2 days, twice, consecutive days. I went saw it one day, and I came back not even 12 hours later, and 24 hours later I saw it again.
Yeah.
And it was a good movie. It's comedic, it's funny, it's lighthearted. It has, as Paul Rudd being the comedic actor that he is, gives life to it. The chemistry between him and the Evangeline's character is very well done. You can tell that they kind of really work well together. Michael Douglas, the talent that he is, and Michelle Pfeiffer, the time she's on screen.
Yeah.
You really get a high quality of character of actor for this movie, which always seems to amaze me. Marvel kind of like what I call the Muppets. Back in the day, nobody wanted to work. No respected actors wanted to work with Muppets. The Muppets became popular, and everyone wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
And I look at Marvel the same way. Marvel, when they first started out, Robert Downey Jr. You have the character actors, and John Favreau. These guys do movies that were like, okay, if it does good, does good. If it doesn't, hey. And as the movies progressed, the talent stepped up. Paul Bettany. You have.
Now, see, I want to say one thing, because I don't want to call him an eyeball. I want to say you have one actor who is just not really fitting. Well, I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I feel like it's a. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But fitting T.I. in that with all the rest of the actors, and the fact that he worked well in that movie, in the first movie, when he's initially a rapper, and he's done stuff before. He's done pretty good in what he's acted in before, but the fact that he can come into the Marvel franchise and just kind of like fit, I think it kind of it works. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful at all, but I'm just saying because all the other actors, you look into all the other movies from the franchise, and all these actors are like big time actors. You know what I mean? So the fact that he can fit well in this type of franchise, I think is pretty cool for him. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
he's talented all the way around. You know what I mean? But
there are very few rappers that can
there are very few rappers that can fit and actually stay in as a character and not be replaced.
Yeah, I mean his role is small,
it's
but
a
it's
small
significant
role, but it fits. Yeah, like he's a part of the team. He has to be there because he's a part of the team. Then if he wasn't, you'd be like, okay, well, why'd they get rid of him? You know?
Yeah, he Kurt. That's the character Dave.
Yeah,
he's Dave, and Kurt is a Russian. David Dash. That's I'm gonna butcher his name.
Okay, I am too. So like, y'all know what his name is. Look it up.
Yeah, but those two guys, I mean, the way they kind of racquetball and scissors ball off each other, kind of play off each other with Michael Payne as the lead. It's really a very unique. It's a diverse group, and the way they cast it, the casting that they do for these movies, it's not just this one, but all of them. Marvel is casting for these background characters or smaller roles is really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, to say a T.I. and Dave and Dave D and Michael Payne, who I love. I saw him from when I first saw him with Shooter. That's what I remember from was Shooter.
I think I remember him in some smaller roles, but
a smaller role.
Yeah.
And the way he kind of plays, the way he plays into his whole group, it works perfectly. I mean, Paul Rudd, when they first said Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, I take right back. When I heard the title Ant-Man, I thought that's the most ridiculous. Are they trying to?
I mean, we were like Ant-Man, seriously, really.
How are you gonna do this? But see, the first test was like, okay, this might work. Then the way they do the small, it increases the size, shrinking it larger.
Yeah.
That's really that really
I think that role fit Paul Rudd because he is just funny. I mean, everything that I've ever seen him in, he's been funny, and he's just that kind of guy that will fit in that type of role because, you know, just his excitement and overall just thrill of being Ant-Man just works, I think.
Yeah, he bridges the gap because he's serious when he needs to be funny when he needs to be funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's I mentioned it. One other thing that really, really was good and better in this movie than the first one. The first movie was a great movie. But the way they utilize the shrinking and, I mean, it's funny because it's Giant Man, Ant-Man, and then there's when the suit's malfunctioning and he goes to 6-year-old height or 4-year-old height.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It almost went on too long, but it did. It went just long enough. They could have played it out longer, but it was totally for comedic action.
Of course.
And comedic purposes. It wasn't just to serve a purpose or dire life's in danger. It was just for that moment. Yeah. So, Wood. Don't forget the dude he played the Office or whatever. The FBI guy, Woo. Jimmy Woo. Randall Park. Yeah, Randall Park. Yeah. His name was Jimmy Woo, but Randall Park. Yes.
Yeah.
He was funny. He's the FBI agent. He was the FBI investigator, and he was funny, but I almost felt like he was stupid.
Kinda.
Yeah, like he's an FBI agent, but he's like he played the Benny Hill role.
Very, very like naive and just kind of really.
Yeah.
This is your job because you don't seem competent enough to have this job. So
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, but I mean
he kind of plays that role. Like that's his role. That's his character.
Yeah,
so it worked for the movie. But then you were just kind of like, oh my god, he is such an idiot.
Yeah, he's such an idiot. Yeah. But that's the role. That's the character. That's the way the character was written. Right. So yeah, so that's my take on it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I do enjoy. I think if you have the opportunity to see it, IMAX is always my preferred method.
Yeah.
We have recently started doing Dolby Cinema.
Yeah, but the last movie we saw, we kind of realized that the IMAX screen was still bigger.
It is bigger, yeah.
Yeah, the Dolby Cinema is a lot more comfortable, for me at least. But
the sound is better.
The sound and, vibrations of the chair, that kind of just puts you in. But the screen, I think for Marvel movies, we're still going to go to IMAX.
Yeah.
To see them, because the screen is bigger.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. And we'll do a discussion. We'll do a separate video on comparison between the two as well.
Yeah.
Because we did see Jurassic Park. I actually was able to see Jurassic Park in both formats.
Yeah.
I can speak to that in another video. Yeah. So. So yeah, so that's
Totally
something.
recommend you seeing it.
Yes.
We always recommend, even if it's something we don't like, because your feeling on a movie is obviously different than ours.
Yeah.
As we said, we're not industry people. We're just
People.
Nika and Greg that goes to the movies
Pretty much.
all the time.
We do that.
So,
Yeah.
go see it. Tell us what you think. Don't hesitate to comment, or, if there's something that you may have seen that we didn't mention, communicate with us. We like to hear feedback from everybody. Just comment below, our Instagram or our Facebook page. You can comment, follow us. Let us know what you think of movies. If it's something that you think that we should see, whether it's a big budget movie, maybe indie film, if it's something on Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever, let us know, and we'll check it out and give you our opinion. Tell you what we think.
Exactly. That's what
Hey,
we're
if
here
it's
for.
a movie that you've made, let us know about it.
I want to see some of those movies.
We're not talking about.
I've seen
I don't know, cause Joe.
It did sound wrong when I said it.
It did kind of sound.
No, I want to see those kind of movies. I want to see that.
Yeah. So anything that's not pornographic, we'll watch.
You used the word I did.
No murdering, no terroristic plots. We are not watching that.
What are you talking about? Half the movies see have murder and terroristic plots.
I mean, serious, like real, terrorism.
All right. So yeah, let us know. Drop the comments down below. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
All right. Thanks for coming by, stop by, and we hope to see you again at our next review. Till then.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ding the bell, because that's the only way you're going to know when we upload.
And make sure it's always ding. Make sure it's always set to ding you. Because if it's not, sometimes the ding doesn't stay dung, and then if you don't ding it, then you don't get dunged. Is that?
What you just said. Anyway, until next time, guys. This is Tuesday Movie Talk.
Thank you for stopping by.